Yo, welcome back. I'm Luke. I help entrepreneurs stop self-sabotaging and make 100K a month. This is Emily.
Hello, y'all. Welcome. I'm excited to be here. I help relationship coaches scale through paid ads, setters, systems.
Okay, dope. If you've been here before, welcome back. So we're going to dive in and answer some common questions that we get from you guys, as well as just talk to our lived experience.
Yep.
We collectively have done quite a lot in revenue and we'll continue to. And we're both aligned with God. So it's going to be a bit magical one for you. So make sure to tune in, like, subscribe if you haven't done already. But yeah, we'll hit it off. So You have some questions?
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something for a positive note before we get into something that might be a little bit more controversial at the end is what is some of the most impactful leadership lessons that you've learned since investing in a numerous amount of programs and coaches. We live in Bali. This is the land of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so much opportunity. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, you're coaching people, or how many coaches have you invested into? But I think there is real tangible value if we can find it and if we can search for the gold. So what is that gold that you have found?
I feel the best leaders constantly learning.
Yes.
Constant. Like they're hungry, itching for it. I would say it comes back to the principle: the best teachers are still learning. The best healers are still healing. I'm sure the best pastors are still preaching. So it comes down to you as a leader. If those people you would have gone to school with, you probably know people who went to school. They went to school, maybe went to college or university. Mm-hmm. After that, they just stopped learning.
Yep.
They just stopped. And they're in the same hometown, having the same experience every day, and they never will leave their town for the rest of their life. Maybe like one vacation to a different place, but they'll probably go to the same vacation spot every year.
Yep.
There's no expansion beyond self. That's fine if that's your
okay.
if that's your comfort bubble. That's okay. I'm not shaming it. But the best leaders I've seen of people who are growing significant companies and impacting thousands, if not millions, still learning. So whether that's investing into more books to read, more YouTube, more content, taking notes on content as well. Like right now, I'd be writing down, like, keep learning, keep investing my time and energy.
Get your notepad and pen out for this one.
Yeah, it's like one of my mentors right now, best guy I've ever invested into. The guy is so intense. We literally have a 4-hour workshop every week to go through, plus 8 to 10 hours of content every week. And I have to go through that. Otherwise, in his words, I'm going to make him look like a shit educator. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but I also want to be educated. And he's been doing that for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And he works with some of the biggest people in the space. So I've noticed this sort of relentless attitude to keep investing in yourself. And even if you might read a book and you're like, oh, that book wasn't really for me. Well, you're just going to stop reading books? No. It's the same with, like, if you have a poor dating experience, are you going to stop dating? Probably not. It's the same with coaches. You have one bad experience with one coach, what, you're going to stop now? No, absolutely not. Otherwise, you're capping your learning. You're that person who's trying to build a big city brand with a small town mentality.
Yeah.
So
you go on a date, it's a bad experience.
Yeah.
They got, like, I don't know. They just ask bad questions. There's no chemistry. They're not lighting you up, and then you decide from then on that, nope, dating's not for me.
Yeah.
Same thing with coaching, and you have a bad experience, or, the product isn't good. They don't have a good amount of support. I've had clients come to me that say they have coaches who don't message them. They don't have coaching calls, or they miss their coaching calls, but they kept investing into their growth.
Right. I think that's definitely a mark of a good leader. I think a second mark of a good leader, you've probably seen this as well, but this is more direct to coaching programs in general, but is they act like the person that they would want to bring into their community, into their team. They act like the team member that they would want to have.
Yes.
And so, like Emily touched on, if you're not showing up to group calls, you're not responding to your coaches, you're not going through the course materials that are literally there to help you.
Yeah.
It is self-sabotage, but it's also, how do you expect to get the results that the top students have had who went through everything if you haven't gone through everything? Is a complete disillusionment
Yeah.
to what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And so the best leaders, they are the
leaders.
ones that take the action and that they show up even when other people around them might not be telling them to do so.
Right. I remember my first coaching program, and there was 1,000+ coaches in the program, 250 people odd on each group call. It's a big program. And I think they might have been doing like somewhere between 1 and 5 million a month. And I remember when I invested in that, and that was one of the biggest financial decisions I'd ever made. I'd never invested like 10K into a program. I didn't even have the 10K anyway, so I had to go on a payment plan. It was aggressive. I had to show up.
Yeah, you did.
But at the same time, the calls were at like 11, 12 o'clock at night for me. And I was like, what am I going to do? Not go to these calls that I literally invested thousands for? Absolutely not. And then the course was there. And I was like, what am I going to do? Not go through the course? No, absolutely not.
No. That's not who you are from an identity level. No. You know that if the person created this,
right,
you have to trust the process.
Yeah. You have to do the things that they tell you.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
Go in blindly.
Yeah.
Dive into the ocean.
Yeah. So that's the second biggest characteristic I would say that I've seen has worked well for leaders. They're just great students of the game. They not only learn, but they also act like the person that would succeed or make it impossible to fail for them to succeed. And then the third thing is really this level of accountability and ownership of not only where they're currently at and the problems that they have, but also of their mistakes. So we see this a lot. Let's say you're starting to build your foundations for a team, and let's say maybe you have an appointment setter, maybe you have a closer, maybe you have an editor. So those strong foundations for where you're at, maybe like 30 to 50K a month, maybe 30 to 60. In a coaching business, the ones I've seen who do the best are like, if my team's screwing up, it's my fault. If my business isn't where I want it to be, it's my fault. It's not my coach's fault. It's not the universe's fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not my parents' fault. It's my fault. I'm the problem, but I'm also the solution here. And so leaders that I've seen that succeed very, very well are able to be vulnerable, be open, be honest about where they're at and the mistakes. And then they're able to take that and take it into leadership. So I remember this example. I gave this example to some of my students last week. I grilled them a little bit, we'll just say that. And I had some surgery, and so I wasn't present. And we instructed some of them to do some homework. And about 50% of them had done their homework, and 50% of them hadn't done their work. And that vulnerability didn't look like, oh, guys, like my surgery was so bad, it was so painful, and I couldn't show up, and I'm so sorry. It was like, hey, guys, I know that I wasn't present for these last few days because of the surgery, and we instructed you guys to do the training. This doesn't mean that it's an excuse for you to not do the training. And so I hold my hands up. I know that I wasn't present, but you guys knew this, and I was proactive with that. And so I want you guys to take ownership for doing the things that you need to do in your business, because I can't be there to hold your hand all the time. I can't be there to pull you through the mud. You guys have got to be able to build the resilience and take ownership for your own journey and your own growth. Because if you can't do that, the only person whose fault it's going to be for not growing is you. And there's people that rely on you. There's people that will be impacted by you, are being impacted by you right now. And if you can't take ownership for your reality, you're also screwing their lives up as well. And so I get that there's this pressure and there's this burden, but this burden and responsibility and ownership and accountability that you get to take as a leader to say, hey, this is my reality and I get to create it. That's a wonderful gift. That's a wonderful gift to be given. And so you get to take that and impact so many thousands of people, so many millions of people. You get to build a legacy. You get to build a name for maybe yourself and other people.
Yeah.
And this was the conversation that we were having with my students around.
That's good.
Around accountability and ownership.
There's a level of humility in being vulnerable and sharing what you're struggling with, but there is resilience that comes through doing it and not needing someone to hold your hand through it.
Absolutely.
When Jesus broke bread and fed the 5,000 with 2 loaves and 5 fishes, he first had to break it. They had to be broken before they could be multiplied. And so when you're on this journey of entrepreneurship, I see it as multiple breakings. So you can be reformed, and that's resiliency. Is going through that breaking process. Is when things aren't working well in your business, or when you don't see the end result and you have to stay trusting what your coach has told you to do. It's going to probably require you to face your fears and go through that breaking process of going through the storm, of diving into what it really is of entrepreneurship, which is like a continued surrender. But through your breaking, you're not just going to serve communities, you're going to serve nations. There's bigger callings on some people, and those people must go through a bigger breaking. And I think that's something I've seen with the best leaders, is that they've been broken more times than anyone I know. Yeah. They had to go through that so then they could be multiplied.
Right.
But through the crushing, that's what creates the anointing. And through that, that's where like the real impact comes.
Right. It's through the challenge is where
So
the growth is.
Invite that in. Like when you are facing those trials and those struggles and those challenges, invite them in. Don't push them away. Like what Luke was saying, the best leaders are the ones who are hungry. Be hungry for that. Be hungry for that growth. And I'm saying that right now, literally walking through a storm and walking through this. And it's not easy to say. It's easier to say than to do. But every time that I have went through it, I've always come out stronger. Which means that we can support people on an even deeper level. It's like David Goggins. Like he grew up and he was broken. And now, how many people has he impacted?
Yep.
Yeah.
Millions, like millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Because of the story.
Yeah. But if you, like in the beginning, you were just in your hometown, you order the same pizza every night, you watch the same show, you go on the same vacations, you are limiting your breaking for your calling to grow and expand. That's, I would say, is something I see in the best leaders.
The standout leaders.
Yeah.
What do you feel is your top 3 worst things that you've seen in leaders?
Oh, we're getting into controversial. Okay, I love this. We're not going to name drop or anything. I would say, man, when we were filming before this video, we were touching on the FIRE framework. And if you haven't watched that video, definitely watch it after this one. There was a key moment when you were talking about micromanaging and control. And I would say that is really, really hard to experience, is when someone doesn't know how to communicate, that they are like just giving feedback in a way that can land for you. We actually call it feed forward. It's not feedback, it's feed forward.
Interesting.
And the other thing would be just no communication. Like I've experienced that enough.
Ghosting.
Yeah. Like I've experienced that where someone will just ghost as a leader. And that really breaks my trust. And when I think about business, like business is relationships. How are relationships created? Trust. And when you don't have communication, and you're not integral with your word, when you don't do what you say you're going to do, it creates like micro tears in that relationship and in that bond.
Right.
Until all of a sudden, the relationship and the rope that you had tied together so beautifully is completely broken.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to say something really controversial.
Okay.
So, my clients that I love the most are the ones that take phenomenal action. The ones who don't, because my self-trust erodes, I feel like my time's being wasted, and unconsciously my own self-sabotage pops up, and I can combat it, But it does reach a point with your coach-client relationship that if you're not doing things that your coach is instructing you to do, you're not only wasting your time, but you're wasting their time as well. You're making them look like a shit educator.
Yeah.
Because you're not following through on the commitments. And it is your coach's role to make those things easier for you to do.
Absolutely.
But when your coach has templates, checklists, dumbed it down, like we literally dumb down with our action step list, we literally throw it into, we'll throw a video into ChatGPT and we'll say, make this action step list step by step. And so that an ADHD 14-year-old could go away and do this. And so everything's like hyper checklist.
Dumbified. It's there.
And it's there not because I'm like, oh, my students are dumb. It's there so that we can bypass the resistance to expansion and resistance to change that we talked about earlier. But if you come on a call and you haven't done the commitments that you said that you were going to do, then you can erode your relationship with your coach for sure.
That is controversial. Wow, this is getting deep. I like this. When you were talking, I thought that you were going to say with your client relationship that when someone doesn't show up and do the work, then you start to resent them.
I would say resentment pops up, but I'll still show up in a call and be a good coach.
Yeah.
And I know when I fall out of alignment with this, when I feel like I'm lecturing and mentoring versus coaching. Coaching is very question-based. Mentoring is you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And when you fall out of that, is it because you are tired? Because it actually requires more energy to coach than to mentor. I feel. To ask good questions that would allow someone to get to their own answer instead of just telling them the answer.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I would say I'm more dysregulated, which is a big foundational thing for what we do.
So then tell me about what do the best students do that you've noticed?
Best students.
Yeah.
Action takers.
Okay.
They ask the coaches questions.
Yeah.
They show up to all the group calls.
Yeah.
And all the one-to-one calls.
Yep.
And they do all their homework.
Yeah.
And they're itchy to get homework done. It's not like, oh, hey, our next call's on Wednesday and they do it Tuesday night and it's a week away. It's like they'll do it that day.
Yeah.
And it'll be done as fast as possible.
What about the students
If
who...
anything, best students in the past have intimidated me in the sense of like they get stuff done so quickly that I have a fear pop up where I'm like, oh, we don't have enough material for this person. We don't have enough, I don't know if we have the next stepping stone for this person to step into their leadership.
Yeah.
So they challenge me to be a better leader. It's like we get the same frame from team members that are very good as well, where they get so much stuff done.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what else to give you at this point. You're already crushing it.
Forces you to become a better leader yourself when they intimidate you. And you're like, oh, you're doing... Like one of my clients, she did 10K in 2 days this week. And I was like, okay, like you're doing like better in those 2 days than I did. Like now I'm being intimidated. I have to step up. Those are the best students for sure. And I see all of those qualities and those traits in that student.
Yeah, we have a student who went from like 10 calls a month to, in a month, he then went from 10 calls to 120 calls booked in a month. And he was like, bro, I'm working with this like sales management team and it's not really working.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I'm going to have to pull out my old skill sets, the things that I wasn't going to teach. And I swore by not teaching. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do self-sabotage. I'm like, right, we'll build out an entire sales management SOP for him. And we built it out over like 2-3 days and now he's able to go through that. And, but it challenged me because I was like, this is the next step in his pathway now. Like he's booking all these calls, the closer's closing. He needs to manage his team better than this old sales manager. And we need to install the principles for a better sales manager coming forward. And yeah, it was challenging in the moment, not from a sense of like, oh no, like I don't know if I can do it, but of just like, okay, I've got to level up what I'm teaching right now. So it was fun. It's fun. It's good to see him grow.
That's amazing. You're just like, okay, let's go.
Yep.
Time to build out the SOP, get them to the next step.
Yep.
But one thing I do want to say as well is like when coaches are building with their students, it's important that the coaches have already proven that the results work. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think either proven with client case studies
Yeah.
or proven with themselves. Like, for example, if I look at somebody like, if I take American football, right, I take Bill Belichick, who was with the Patriots, and the Patriots, everybody knows who Tom Brady is. Tom Brady's won, like, what, 6 Super Bowls? Bill Belichick's built 9, I think. Bill Belichick's a world-class coach, but in terms of, like, an actual player himself, I don't think he ever got past, like, college lacrosse. But he had great leaders in his corner.
Yeah.
And was able to then take his teams to Super Bowls. And so I think being able to demonstrate it in the field with other people is key. Like, most of my clients are doing bigger numbers than me. We have clients at 300K a month, 100K a month. We spoke to a dude the other day who had a 9-figure business. It wasn't the right decision for right now, but we attract people that generally are doing higher numbers than me. But I've been in businesses that have done 300K a month as well.
Yeah.
So when I see online people saying, hey, we're going to help you do 7 figures, and they've not even worked in a 7-figure business, they don't even have that real life experience of being in that environment. I'm like, okay, this is a dodgy marketing.
This is a
dodgy marketing.
I don't know
ploy.
about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's key.
Yes, CC will have a fun one with this guy.
Oh no, I don't even want to bring that up. That's crazy. Yeah, if you are wanting to get into a program, I would say for sure make sure that they have the case studies proven
absolutely.
to get you to the results that you want to get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I hear people all the time telling me like, oh, Emily, I have invested in these courses and these programs, but I didn't get any results. They're 18 programs deep, no results. And I'm like, okay, well, hear you. Did the other people get results? Were you showing up on the calls?
Yeah, there needs to be a diagnosis as to why that person didn't get results as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll blame it on the coach or blame it on the program.
Right.
But then it comes back to that leadership character trait where it's extreme ownership on that call. You have this vision. God gave you this dream and this desire to impact people. But then you're telling me that you have been 18 programs deep, but there's no real change.
Yeah.
So what's the discrepancy?
Right.
Is it you, or is it your kids? Is it your lack of time? Is it your lack of time management, your 9 to 5? And that's something that you get to decide. But that decision will impact years to come.
Yeah. Is it you believe you're a bad student? Like, did you have a bad experience in school growing up, and then you thought you're a bad student, or that you're not smart, or that you can't learn?
Yeah.
We get that a lot. Or people say, oh, I only learn in this way. I'm only learning.
Who told you that? Who told you that you only learn visually? I think you can learn audibly, actually.
I only learn visually. I only learn audibly. I only learn kinesthetically. And there's some merit to that. There is some psychology behind it. But I learned about 2 years into my growth that if I need to learn something, just give it to me and I'll figure out a way to learn it.
What's that one chart where it's like, F around, find out?
Oh, yeah. Fuck around, find out.
Yeah.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's entrepreneurship. For any person that is growing, that's the equation when you get into a program.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel was the hardest moment for you in your business over the last year?
Yeah.
And what got you through it?
Ooh, man. I'm going to come back to Jesus always. I would say I remember there was just a chameleon. What's the word?
Chameleation.
I'm putting combobulation and culmination. Cumulation.
Cumulation.
A culmination.
A culmination. A culmination of combobulation.
There was a culmination of combobulations that were going on in my combobulated, colluminated reality. And I was experiencing... Yeah, so at the time, my business partner left. There was no communication there. And then I was just doing everything for the business, taking all the calls, taking all the coaching calls, which as someone who loves hustling, like I just got into that mode. I got into that mode hardcore. And then, oh man, I remember taking so many sales calls where they told me like, oh, I have to pray on it. And so for the weekend, I felt like I went back into the like amygdala fear response of saying, I did not help this person. And so that means that they're going to spend the rest of their life in this same situation. And I could have been that catalyst. Like this program could have been that catalyst to help their life change. And that literally broke my heart. I still remember that because I remember crying so in despair. And God took me to Ecclesiastes, where it's like 3-4, there's a time for mourning and a time for dancing. And as I was sitting on my bed just crying, I saw Jesus. And I come back to this because I saw him with the crown of thorns, and he was there in my sorrows and in my struggles. And then on Monday, I ended up closing all the clients. They all piffed. I got up, I started dancing. And then that verse came to me where there's a time for mourning and a time for dancing. So I would say that was like one of the more emotional times. And when I think about hard, I think about strong emotions.
Wow.
What about you?
Malaysia. Malaysia. Oh, so this was a couple years ago. So not this year. I'll go for the couple years ago because this was probably the hardest time in my business. It was during a big transitionary period. I'd entered a small business partnership for a little bit. I was going to be setting, closing, and training the sales team. And unfortunately, that partnership wasn't what I had brought it up to be. I'd done the numbers in my head and been a bit optimistic in my numbers. And also, I was optimistic about how he would show up as a leader. And he wasn't that leader for me either, which was my responsibility I just didn't have the awareness that at that time to understand what partnership worked best for me and what green flags and red flags to look for. Right. And so initially it was meant to be, I was meant to get a certain base pay each month, and then it was meant to be 10% of each sale, and then 10% got turned into 5%, and 5% got turned into 2.5%. And so my supposed 20 grand a month coming in for me to learn and like learn all these processes in a bigger business turned into about 2K a month. And I was like, dang, this is not what I thought it would be. And so I needed to kickstart my business again. I found this mentor. It's like 5K credit card. And I was like, okay, let's get going. And then I was like, it'll be fine. I'll sign some clients this week. That's usually what happens when I invest in somebody. I usually sign people the next week and cover back the investment. So that's usually the intention.
Yo, that is on.
That's a strong belief. That's a strong belief
right there. No, that's pretty accurate.
And so I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just do that. And then that didn't happen. And so in this time was when I was still having a really big problem with self-sabotage, which for me at the time was porn and sex addiction. And so I remember having sales calls. I'd left Bali. I was in Malaysia for like 4 or 5 days, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. Maybe you guys have a great time in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, no.
I personally
I did not.
don't know anybody that has.
I went there and it was terrible.
I'm sure there are people that have good times in Kuala Lumpur, but I do not know anybody that has from Bali. And so I'm not having a good time in Malaysia. I have to go to it took me like 45 minutes to get to this co-working cafe. I have a sales call at 6 a.m. that was really important because I'm literally on my like last 150 pounds left. Wow. And I'm up self-sabotaging until 4 a.m. I get an hour of sleep. I go to this cafe. The cafe's not open when it was meant to be open. I'm now late to the sales call. I go through the sales call, and then at the end he's like, oh bro, I didn't even want to buy anything. I just wanted to see if you wanted to partner on something. And I'm like, well, that's that one. And then I get back to my hotel. I'm like, oh, what time's my flight? I'm like, oh, it's at 2:00. What time is it now? I'm like, oh, it's 12. that's not too bad. Like, what time do I need to leave? Oh, it's an hour and a half to the airport. Oh, okay, well, I better leave now then. So I leave, I get in the airport, I'm flustered, I'm scattered, I'm in full amygdala, I'm freaking out. I've had 1 hour sleep, so I'm just freaking out. We arrive at the terminal, I get dropped off at the wrong terminal. I go to the check-in desk, and it's about 2 minutes. It's about 1 minute before they close the gate.
Yeah.
Before you check in. I get there 2 minutes after. I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. Like they'll let me in. No, you can't get on this plane. Like, we've closed the gates. So I'm like, you can't be flexible. And I'm like, no, we literally can't. So I'm there with like, now I'm down to like 150 because I had to get the taxi. Maybe it was 120, and I'm like, well, now I need to get a new flight. And then luckily for me, I did have my hotel booked for the next 2 days. I just wanted to leave Malaysia earlier because I hated it. And I had my accommodation already sorted in Thailand, where I was going next.
Yeah.
And I go to the check-in desk, and I can't afford the flight. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be stuck in this shit city with no money. And I can't ask for anybody money in my family. I can't do that. And so I go on Skyscanner on my phone, and I look up a flight, and I find one for 120. I'm like, okay, if I get this, I'm gonna have like £10 left in my bank account. And so I get that, and then for the next 2 days, I'm like, well, now I've got no money for food, and so I'll just starve myself until I get a client. And luckily for me, I had a client that was doing really well. She did the like 10K in 40 days, and I'd been talking about this like possible ascension offer that I was going to do, where I was going to train, hire, and recruit an appointment setter for her.
Mm-hmm.
And
2K.
And we had the call the next day, and she did a 7,500 pay in full, which was amazing because I knew that I was going to have the money come in.
Yeah.
But it was in my Stripe account for 7 days, so I still had no food for like the next bit of time. I flew to Thailand, and this is where I know God came through on a different level. So I'm walking to the co-working space, which I don't have money for. And I go to this co-working space, and on the way to the co-working space, I, on the floor, find 500 baht, which is like £12, which is enough for food for the next few days. Like, literally just found 500 baht cash on the floor.
Wow. That's amazing. Literally in scripture, it says, do not worry about what you will eat or about what you will drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
You're
the co-working,
precious.
yeah, and then the co-working space did me a solid, and let me work there for like 2-3 days, and then I closed another client.
Wow.
In those days as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That identity resilience is key. Like, most people would not be able to
Handle that.
withstand that level of pressure.
No.
Even when my bank account, like, if it ever drops below like a certain threshold, I'm like,
Yeah.
but it's like, girl, you're chilling.
Yeah.
You know, because our identity is like so rooted to what that number is that your nervous system like regulates to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But wow.
So that was the hardest time in the business, and what got me through it was I was just like, well, I'm not going to give up. Like, it's always been, what's the alternative for me? Because I grew up having such intense suicidal ideation, like I wanted to take my life since I was 6 up until 25. The alternative for me is like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Like, kill yourself? Like, as dark as that is, like, that's always been the alternative for me. So
yeah,
like, I'm like, okay, well, we'll just figure it out. I'm still here. I'm still living.
The worst outcome is I will just kill myself, or I will not. I'll just continue with this business. Oh, I guess I'll just choose the other.
I guess I'll just choose this business. I guess we'll just figure it out.
And that makes it a little bit less intense.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would recommend that frame of thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, I would not.
Yeah, probably wouldn't.
But just think about
that.
Worst case scenario in terms of business failing, like going back to a 9-to-5. Okay, like,
yeah,
it's not that bad. Still, it's.
Yeah, there's always an alternative path to what you're doing. There's always an opportunity cost, the cost of the next best alternative. And for me, it used to be, the ideation or whatever. But now it's really, okay, I go and get a job for someone else. Okay, I might have to go and close for somebody else, or I might have to go and partner, or I might have to go and do this. But I then ask, is that what I really want? If not, okay, let's commit to this.
Yeah.
And let's follow through.
Full commitment.
Yeah, not like, oh, halfway in. No, like, this is the commitment. This is the plan. Let's go.
Yes. Yeah, the people I see who are fully committed, they quit their 9 to 5, they go all in on their dream, they go all in on their business, they see the exponential results. Whereas someone who's like doing multiple different things, scattering their focus and their energy, they don't get to where they want to go as fast as they can. And that time, like the time we have on earth is so precious. There's people dying every day and people being born every day, but your life is so precious.
Right.
So how you use that time, be careful with it.
There's people who would literally kill for the opportunity that you have in front of you right now.
Yeah, to have a laptop.
Yeah.
To be in front of, like, to get a laptop, to have a mic, and to have this opportunity to be able to use technology, this is not something that we should be taking.
And there's people that you could bless with these things. We had a team member, this is when it really hit hard.
Yeah.
We have a team member who does our vision boards for all our clients. So our clients, when they come in, they do a manifesto, they do a big breakdown, loads of journaling questions, put it together, and then we go and give it to our vision board creator. She goes and creates a vision board for them. And they're amazing. Like, they're so good. And it saves you the hours and hours and hours having to do a vision board yourself. And she's an expert at this. And I remember like wanting to give her a different task, and she was like, oh, I can't do that because I don't have a laptop. And I was like, wait, you've been doing all these vision boards on your phone? And she was like, I don't have one. Like, I can't afford it. It's too expensive, because she's from Serbia. And I was like, let me get you a laptop. I was like, she was like, oh my God, really? Like, you get me a laptop? I'm like, yes.
Oh.
Like, of course.
Yes.
And I'm like,
being able to bless.
I never even thought of it like that, because I've always been in a blessed opportunity growing up where, even though I had a pretty tough upbringing, like, my parents did make some money. What they did with it, whatever. But I had a laptop at the least. And so there's so many people that you could bless along this journey. It's not just about you. It can't be just about you. That's actually something I see in leaders. The most motivated ones have more reasons, way more reasons. It's the people with families, the people who are single moms or single dads, the people who have a community, or they have little brothers or little cousins relying on them.
Yes.
They just have a different level of drive. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to the moms that are watching this.
Big shout out to the moms.
Big shout out to the moms. We love you.
Yeah.
We hope that this was impactful for you and that you took lots of notes and takeaways from it.
Yeah. Well, that's how go bless somebody today. Go make somebody else's day better. Go make someone smile.
Amen.
Yep.
Much love.
Peace.